My name's James Nicholson. I hope you guys are well. In this video, I want to talk about, is 2024 the worst time to buy a property? Now, that could be based off the fact that the belief is the market is going to go down. Inflation is still sticking around, so interest rates possibly could go back up. But let's talk about, should you buy property in 2024 or should you wait and see what happens or wait for a market crash? Let's talk about that in this video. Now, before we jump into this, as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit the bell notification. Do that right now. We're so close to 20,000 subscribers. You're really helping me if you do that. So quickly subscribe, hit the bell, smash the like button or tickle the like button. Do something to the like button over there, guys. Take you 1 second, and that really helps us get more views on the channel. I appreciate every single person that does that. So make sure you do that. So, what is going on? Well, property has been very unpredictable over the last 4 or 5 years, in my opinion. So what's happened is we had the pandemic, and logically, it made sense that house prices would go down. We were in a lockdown. Businesses were closed. People were on furlough. But what actually happened was people had more money than they have done for decades. Savings increased massively. People weren't spending in the pub or on holidays. They weren't going out because they weren't able to go out. And that meant that people had money to burn. So what they did, they started investing in property. At the same time, I started investing in properties for my 2 daughters. I've got an older daughter called Georgia, who's 23, and a little baby called Amelie, who's just 3 years old. And so I wanted to buy some properties with them. And I was looking at properties with Georgia, and we were seeing auction properties go for more than if they just sold with an estate agent on Rightmove. People were getting carried away. It took us a long time to find a good deal. We did. We got a deal in Doncaster, which you can check on the channel, where we bought for 60, refurbed and got it revalued at 100. But that took some time for us to do that. Then all that time, people thought house prices would go down. They went up. We had some really big jumps for a couple of years. Then inflation started to bite. At that time, inflation was around, but people weren't talking about it so much. Builders were, but not normal people. And so what then started to happen, inflation got really bad. We got up to 11 or 12%. It's compounded to around 20% over the last few years, which has really made things tough. And so the Bank of England decided to raise interest rates 14 times consecutively. That starts to hit homeowners. That starts to hit people with debt. The cost of debt got significantly higher. And so interest rates last year were at 6.5%, 7%. They were really high when Liz Truss was in charge. Since then, they've started to go down, but there's still an expectation that the property market at the beginning of this year will start to drop and maybe level out by the end of next year. Now, what a lot of people say in the comments is, well, let's buy in the dip. Let's buy when the prices go down. And I couldn't agree more. Of course you want to get a cheaper property. If the house prices crash 50%, that's when you want to go shopping. But the thing is, I'm not seeing that crash happening at the moment. It is just moving slowly, the market. It's a slow moving market. There's not lots of property listed. Should you buy now? That's the question. Yes. If, there's a big if there. You should buy property now if you can buy a property below market value. There are lots of sellers keeping their prices high in this market. They're just not willing to drop. But there are also a percentage, 10% of the market maybe, that need a fast sale. They just need to get out of that property and they want their money as quick as they can. Those are the people that you need to look for, because those are the people you can get a significant discount. Talking 10%, 20%, 30% maybe in some instances of those properties. Now, what you need to look for is properties that you can add value to. I only buy properties that I can add value. If I can't add value to that property, I'm not interested. It's just not for me. So what does that mean? Well, I'm buying a studio flat at the moment, and that studio flat is just in a terrible condition. It doesn't have carpets, the plastering's horrendous, it needs a rewire, the kitchen's old, the bathroom's old. It's not in good condition. And so I'll be adding value by doing a light refurb on that property because it's small, it's a studio flat, right? So it's pretty easy to add value. Some other examples of adding value are, I have another studio flat in the same block that was a studio. I turned it into a 1-bedroom just by putting a stud wall up. It cost me less than £5,000 for the stud wall, the decorating, the carpets, and making that nice. That added 50 grand to the value of that property in Dorking, which was insane. I have another property where I took it from a 1-bedroom to a 2-bedroom property. Again, just stud walls, easy stuff. In Doncaster, our property was in horrendous condition and we did a light refurb and got that back up to spec and made that really look good on the market. So you need to be looking to add value. There are deals out there that you can add value and there's more of them. So now is a good time to look at that. Then you need to look at high cash flow strategies. This is important. So we are doing some social housing here. Social housing is a good one for us. And so social housing, we will call all the providers in an area and just see, there's companies called Mears and other companies like that, and they will get people for us. They'll take it for 5 years or 10 years. They'll look after the property for us. And so we get a guaranteed rent, often slightly above market value. Social housing is an absolute winner for us. And so that's a good, predictable, you're not going to not get paid. That's very, very important. Next is HMOs, and they stand for House of Multiple Occupancy. And if you can rent the property out on a room-by-room basis, you can make significantly more money. This is easily done. You can take a 3-bedroom house that's got 2 reception rooms. I'm talking a dining room and a living room. Turn those 2 rooms into bedrooms, and now it's a 5-bedroom property. Maybe you would have got £1,000 rent for that, depending on where it is in the country. And now you can rent it out on a room-by-room basis for 500 quid. Instead of 1,000, you're going to get £2,500 rent. Makes a massive difference. So HMOs are a great high cash flow strategy. Next is serviced accommodation. These are great deals if you do them in the right place. It's where you rent it out on Airbnb on a nightly basis. And so people want these in city centres, they want them near beaches for holidays, but we like to look at ones that contractors and people can use all year round. I don't like the ones where you're near a beach, so you only get summer bookings and then it's dead in the winter. I want to look for something in a city centre that I can rent out all year round. So serviced accommodation is a great strategy for high cash flow. Again, you should be looking to make at least £1,000 profit per unit per month. So that is another one. And another strategy that you can use to get properties cheaper at the moment is something called a lease option. And so a lease option is where you can buy a property for £1 today, and then you'll complete at a later date. It's a delayed completion strategy. So let's just say there's someone that needs to sell a property and they need £100,000 for that property. They can't go less because that's what they owe with the mortgage, right? Or they need to make a bit of profit to pay off debts or something like that, right? So they need 100 grand, right? That's what they're in for, £100,000. Now, the market says that that property at the moment is only worth £90,000. So you can't pay 100,000. You'll just go and get a deal down the road for 90 that is worth that. But what you could say is, look, I'll give you your 100 grand, but I want to secure the property today with a legal contract called a lease option for £1 today, and then we'll complete on the property in 7 years. What that does is it allows the market time to recover. That's very important. Very, very important that that does do that. And also these properties are likely that you can also add value. It's probably not in a good condition. So you can increase the value faster by doing that, adding new bedrooms, refurbishing it or whatever. Then you could maybe use it as HMO, SA or social housing. You can use that in conjunction. And then when the property is worth more, in 7 years, that could be worth £120,000. You're going to buy it for 100. Instant equity when you buy that property. These deals did not work for the last few years. No one would have done that. When the market's going crazy high, there's so many buyers, they're selling so fast. Why would you do that? But in this market, where you can't get buyers, and it takes ages to do, this strategy works that little bit better. Let me know your thoughts on all of these strategies. I think 24 is a great time for investors, but only if you buy the right deal that you can add value to, and then you use a high cash flow strategy off the back of that. Now, I'll go into a lot more detail in the fundamentals of property investing. I talk about all of these strategies, how to find these properties, how to do the legal stuff and everything in between. And we've got that on sale at the moment for less than £50. I'm going to put a link below so you can go and grab the fundamentals of property investing. Go and check out that program. More than 200 of you have done that already, so thank you to everyone that has. Do smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, go and check out some more content on my channel, including this video right here.